Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user CherryColaCoca1. Am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my best guy friend's wedding and telling my parents I am going to cut them off? I grew up with my family and another family whose parents were best friends with mine since high school. My parents had me, female 28, and my two older brothers, male 31 and male 35, while their friends had four boys, male 27, male 29, male 30, and male 37. Growing up was pretty nice, but the boys used to pick on me a lot and excluded me during their girls are yucky phase. I wouldn't say I see these boys as brothers, but maybe as cousins. I was close to male 27 and male 29 when we were little. I will call them Adam and Jake. Until we were 15, we were really close and did a lot together. I don't talk to Jake much anymore. No hard feelings, but he grew up to be a classic tech bro and can be pretty condescending. However, our families are obsessed with the idea of us ending up together. The other guys are already married and Adam is gay. They've always pushed for us to be together, making us go to the store alone at Christmas, telling us both an earlier time to meet at the restaurant for Dad's birthday, talking him up a lot, etc. Then both Jake and I met our significant others. I have been with my fiance for 5 years, and Jake met his fiance 3 years ago. Our families have been very disappointed and have not welcomed our significant others warmly. One Christmas, Jake and I took Jake's fiancée, Tracy, aside and explained the weird family lore to her, just like we did with my fiancé. We assured her that it was just a weird thing about our family and that Jake and I have not been close for ages and have never had more than a friendly relationship. Ironically, having to stand against our parents made us all a little closer, but we come to the problem. Jake and Tracy are going to get married soon, and it has been chaos. Our parents have upped their antics by 2,000%. Family dinners are now full of, "Aw, we thought you two would get married." They even brought out a picture I apparently drew when we were little of me and Jake getting married. I suspect they made it. It did not look like it was made by an actual child. And now they are concerning Tracy about making me the matron of honor and letting me wear white. What? Also, his brothers and my brothers joined in, making jokes about us being star-crossed lovers and calling me the missus. I distanced myself heavily from my family during that time and stopped going home after talking to them did nothing. Then one day, one of my brothers invited me out. He said it was just my two brothers and me, so I went to his apartment, and when I arrived, it was Jake's bachelor party. One of his brothers screamed out the stripper was here. Effing ew. I wanted to leave, but the next train left close to 12 a.m. and it was not the safest neighborhood, so I stayed. They tried to get me drunk, were constantly physically pushing me and Jake together, and even locked us in my brother's bedroom. I could hear loud laughing from the other side. Jake and I did not talk much. He apologized to me and asked me if I could not come to the wedding as I made Tracy uncomfortable. I completely understood and said at that point I was not planning to go anymore. He offered to drive me home as he was also completely sober. When they opened the door, he said we were going home. In their heads, that meant we were going to be intimate or something because all the caveman sounds started. The next day, my phone was blowing up. Someone uploaded a video of me and Jake leaving and captioned it, "Finally." It was very awkward. I am clearly uncomfortable and so is Jake as we exit the apartment and enter his car. There were comments, calls, and texts. Tracy called me crying and cursing me out. Jake called me apologizing and telling me he tried to explain. My mother and his mother sent me a bunch of texts saying how proud they are and that it was about time. My fiance is understanding, but he wants me to make clearer boundaries with my family. So I drove past their house and they were all there. They didn't even let me talk and were just love bombing me. I started screaming and told them Jake and I have never and will never be together, and I will not be leaving my loving fiance. That I would not be okay going to Jake's wedding, and if they kept up with this, I would cut every single one of them off because I am tired and just want to live my life and not their in-family fairy tale. By the end of my meltdown, my mother and his mother were crying, and my father just told me to get out. Since then, I have been getting messages from my brothers calling me a bitch for treating my family like that because they only wanted the best for me. So, am I the a-hole? No, OP, of course you're not the a-hole. They wanted the best for you? Well, the best for you is what would make you happy, not what would make them happy. Your family just took it too far, and I am sure it's not the only family that wished their children would get married or whatever. And one thing could be like holding out hope, but the other one is harassing you and pushing you like this to the point you had a meltdown. That's just way out of bounds and definitely not acceptable. You are not the a-hole, OP. What you did was the right thing. You just exploded in front of them because they just pushed you too hard. And it sucks that instead of actually understanding your point of view, they just made it about them, crying and then kicking you out. They're all a bunch of idiots in my opinion, and they've lost you. You and Jake are victims on your family, and your fiance and Tracy are secondary victims in this whole stupid scenario thing. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Me Nefariousness 25 says, not the a-hole. I grew up in a similar situation with a close friend of mine. It didn't really stop until she came out a couple years back, but her mother still refers to me as her son and talks about what could have been, even though I'm now engaged and her daughter is, again, gay. It drives me crazy that parents try to force crap like this on their kids. Bella Rose 36 says, not the a-hole. Both families are insane and your brothers are gross for even participating in this disaster. You and Jake have made it clear that you are not interested in each other romantically and you are currently both engaged to other people. However, both sets of parents and siblings' incessant behavior are adding fuel to the fire and causing a divide, but are blaming you for their disregard and ignorance. I'm baffled and stunned that these adults think that what they are doing is okay. They are being selfish and manipulative and need to look in the mirror and examine their immature and abhorrent behavior instead of insulting and putting blame on you. If you don't mind me asking, where do you live? I'm shocked that this is even happening. You should get both families and your brothers to read this thread. They should be ashamed of themselves and embarrassed for acting like emotionally immature teenagers. And Dopey responds, I live in Germany. And No Albatross 7984 says, well, that's stomach turning. My sincerest condolences for the moron family. I have no advice aside from the cease and desist. I know it's easy to say, but yeesh, the sexual innuendo, the straight up in-family sex talk, having both of your families celebrate their assumption of you cheating on your respective spouses, the inability to listen, locking you in a room just made me low-key nauseous. I was expecting a call to police for false imprisonment or whatever it's called when you don't let someone leave. And just imagine how much your spouses are hurting every day from this. Awful, awful people. OP's edit. No, an Uber was not an option. Taxis and Uber are ungodly expensive here. Thus, I take the freaking train. No, we don't have a car, I have a bike. Also, Tracy was away and my fiance had a night shift. Alright, well, the majority of the community agrees that OP was not the a-hole, that the family is insane, and that she should definitely cut them off. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Update 1. Jake and Tracy broke up. Update 2. My fiance was cheating with Tracy the whole time. Update 3. I think I might have feelings for Jake, but I can't let our families win. Update 4. I'm pregnant and it's Jake's. I'm kidding. Just thought this comment was particularly hilarious. First of all, thank you all for your insight, especially those of you who reached out in the comments and privately with similar stories. I honestly thought my family was the only demented one, but apparently it's a trend. Also, a lot of German parents have done that, so in that vein, scheiße, ne? So now, let me give you the real update. My fiance and I spoke and concluded that cutting out my family for now would be the best option. I sent a message to my parents and brothers explaining my decision to distance myself for the time being. I emphasized that while I love them, I cannot continue to endure their pressure and manipulation. I told them their behavior had made me resent them and, to some extent, Jake. They ruined any friendly relationship we could have had and made me feel gross and exploited. I told them they were setting me up to be sexually assaulted if it had been anyone else but Jake. I also told them that their controlling behavior was the reason I never told them about anything in my life. I told them it hurts to be with them and I'm in a bad mood for days after meeting them. I never look forward to holidays with them and have caught myself wishing I would get into an accident or get sick before the holidays to have an excuse not to go home. I made it clear that they cut themselves out of my life and they will not be there when I get married, have kids, or in any other life achievements. After sending the message, I left the group, blocked them all, and felt really light. I cried with my fiance for hours, and I don't really know if it was tears of sadness, relief, or happiness. I was so conflicted, I just kind of fell asleep. Jake has also cut his part of the family off. According to Tracy, he just went to their home, dumped a sack of their stuff on the table, told them to stay the F away from him, and left. His mother tried reaching out to me, and my father tried reaching out to Jake. Our fiancés had been targeted by them too. My parents sent the police to my house claiming my fiance had me there against my will. We talked to the police. They couldn't do much, but assured me that they would leave a note in their database clarifying that I'm not being abused. I also asked how to go about a no-contact order, and they pointed me to resources. They also said they would tell my parents to leave me alone and noted that should they make false reports, they would have to cover the cost of the drive out to me. Additionally, as of Friday, we have different numbers. Tracy is coming over this afternoon and I'm taking her to my nail salon, and afterward we are going to a game store because she really wants to play some escape games. Jake and I are still not close, and he is also not close to my fiance, but he is happy that we have carved out a healthy space and that Tracy is so comfortable with me now in such a short span of time. They are re-evaluating their wedding plans. Also, to the people who made fun of me for saying that I couldn't go anywhere without a car, I have a bike. Anyway, that was it. It was only a week and I don't see this going much further. My parents are going to keep contacting me probably, but it's going to be alright. Opie's edit. Thank you for so many well wishes. It has been really nice to read through all these comments. Just one thing. Don't give me legal advice. Remember that we are most likely in a different country and our laws and procedures probably don't apply to the ones you know. For example, the camera thing to have as evidence is a nice sentiment, but in Germany it's difficult. We have super strict data protection laws that make things like a Ring camera unviable or a restraining order. The process here is not only to go ask and to get it, but you can be well assured that I'm looking into all viable options and I'm getting some legal advice from lawyers in my area. Will it be good for you? You told them how you felt, you blocked, and now you can move on with your fiance. The same thing goes, of course, for Jake and Tracy. Hopefully they also find a way to make things work for them. So on that note, here's wishing you the best in the future. Thanks so much for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user CuteGinger2. Am I the a-hole for blocking my twin because she tried to sleep with my fiance? For context, my twin and I are identical twins but different heights due to childhood illness. I am shorter and more petite due to the illness, but a healthy 28-year-old female adult. My fiance, 29 male, is now my husband. Backstory. My twin and I already had a complicated relationship due to her not respecting boundaries, expecting me to be available whenever she wanted and having hissy fits anytime I spent time with my own friends. But then cancelling our plans an hour after we were supposed to meet to spend time with her friends. This was a continual ongoing issue throughout our whole lives. I should be available to her 110% of the time, hate any friends I made, hate any guy I dated. I should only want to be with her. Cue in my husband. My husband is an amazing, patient, handsome, fun-loving man. I could not ask for a better life partner. When we started dating, my twin reacted to him like all of my exes, interrogated him, assumed he was going to be abusive for X number of reasons, hostile, etc. To clarify, my husband is not abusive. My husband, knowing that being close to my family is really important to me, did his best efforts to get my twin's approval. He jumped through all of the hoops and trials and even made friends, or so we thought, with my twin. He is now also really close with my parents and grandparents and sees them regularly even if I am at work. My twin is also married, was engaged at the time, so we thought nothing of her now being friendly with my husband. Then, one evening, while my husband and my twin were hanging out, roommates at the time, separate bedrooms, they had a good chat about life. When they went to hug goodnight, my twin pressed her breasts on my husband, said, "I appreciate what we have, whatever this is," and tried to kiss him. My husband rejected her advances and then called me immediately afterwards. I was at work. I tried asking my twin what happened for context and she just gaslit me about it. Days and weeks following that night, she started telling everyone that my husband is a pervert and attracted to minors because he married me, who looks like a child even though I am 28. She has created more rumors since. We don't live together anymore. She also had a meltdown right before my wedding and has been super petty since. I have now blocked her because she refuses to apologize for trying to sleep with my husband and spreading rumors. Am I the a-hole? No, OP, it's painfully obvious that you are not the a-hole. Your sister absolutely sucks in every way. Sister, friend, as a human, she just sucks in every single possible way. If I was you, I would take action, legal action. The rumors your sister is spreading about your husband are dangerous, so if I was you, I would get as much proof as possible of these rumors, take them to a lawyer and see if you can sue her for defamation. And I would say that actually not taking action against your sister, that would make you an a-hole. And what do you guys think? What is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Winterfront 1431 says, "Your sister has been toxic since day one, and you allowed it. Cut her out for good. No accepting apologies. Too much damage is done. Personally, if you were my partner and you forgave your sister after her sexually assaulting me and then spreading lies, I'd divorce you in a heartbeat. Tell your family and gatherings she is in you will not be." Nylon Vest says, "She's taking her time, but eventually she'll think to say to you, 'I was testing him. I wanted to make sure he wouldn't cheat on you. He passed.'" Token or Tolkienupos says, "You really wrote this entire thing because you genuinely thought you're in the wrong, or you just wanted to vent?" And Opie responds, "Honestly, more so to vent. My parents are really trying to push me into reconnecting with my twin because now she is all sad and depressed because I'm not talking to her. They have always prioritized protecting her feelings and telling me, well, that's just how she is, anytime she acts the way she does." So the community agreed that OP was not the a-hole, and some of them were actually asking why was she writing the post. It was mostly a vent post, but we still do have an update, so let's move on with that to see how this story ends. Some people asked about her husband's thoughts on it. My twin essentially has told her husband, nothing happened, that she did not hit on my husband, that my husband is lying, etc. Her husband believes her and is also pushing the rumors that my husband is attracted to minors, etc. Her husband spent so much time trying to crap talk my husband at the family get-together that different individuals asked them to stop talking about my husband and I because they were getting so annoyed. It's also how my husband and I found out about the rumors. None of my other siblings believe or agree with the rumors that my twin and husband have spewed. Honestly, the only people still defending my twin and her husband's actions are my parents. They see it as a he said, she said situation. They think that my husband misinterpreted my twin's actions. As far as the rumors go, it isn't out of character for my twin to build random grudges against people for no reason and come up with weird reasons to hate them. I have definitely cut my twin and her husband out of my life. For those asking about setting boundaries prior to this vlog, I had already had many arguments with my twin about her behavior and how I was done with it. She continually stepped over those boundaries. The final straw was her trying to sleep with my husband. I had asked her multiple times over the phone, with already limited contact, to apologize to him. During the family get-together, it was a final Hail Mary to get her to admit to her crap and apologize, which she did not, leading to an official absolute block. I have no intentions of ever having contact with her again, even if she did apologize. When the event first happened, my hope originally was that it was a misunderstanding. It clearly was not. And when she didn't apologize to my husband, that was it. Out of our lives for good. I wanted her to apologize to my husband for his closure because he didn't deserve to be treated the way he was. I don't expect my husband to interact with her ever again, nor would I ask him to. Well, OP, good for you. You got your psychotoxic sister and her idiotic husband out of your life. I would still see if I could pursue a legal route because those rumors are incendiary. In any case, OP, here's wishing you and your husband the best in the future. Thanks so much for sharing and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.